Martinez is being brought to you by and by PlayStation. PlayStation 4, greatness awaits. Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing and the world's most famous arena. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO.
And now let's look at the celebrities who are in Madison Square Garden. Jake Gyllenhaal is working on a boxing-based movie called Southpaw that's being shot right now. Working with him in the movie, Rachel McAdams. So both of them are at ringside here tonight. Sergio Martinez spent much of the last 15 years living and fighting in Spain. And therefore, one of Spain's most famous citizens, Pau Gasol, is here to root for him. Timothy Bradley, a great fight fan as well as a great fighter, comes to a lot of the big shows. And the two heavyweights we mentioned, unbeaten and soon to appear on HBO, Ryan Jennings of Baltimore, Maryland is here. Irish Mike Perez, Cuban defector now living in Ireland, is also here. They were at the news conference earlier today for the announcement of Gil versus Golovkin. Adam Brody, you remember him from the OC. Gennady Golovkin, better known in the boxing world simply as Triple G. Daniel Gil, Golovkin's opponent on July 26th, here in Madison Square Garden on HBO. Ruslan Prabhatnikov in town to appear at the Barclays Center next week against Chris Algieri. There's the Siberian Rocky. And finally, America's #1 boxing fan, Mike Tyson, is here again with his beautiful wife. Now let's go up to Michael Buffer to continue the festivities in the ring. We're waiting for a full assembly of the musicians and singers necessary to provide national anthems in the ring. So that's why we didn't get an immediate start when I attempted to toss it to Michael Buffer to continue the festivities. Now let's go to Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing the national anthem for Argentina, welcome Solange Merdinian.
Oíd mortales el grito sagrado, libertad, libertad, libertad. Oíd el ruido de rotas cadenas, ve del trono a la noble igualdad. Ya su trono dignísimo abrieron las provincias unidas del sur y los libres del mundo responden al gran pueblo argentino. Responden al gran pueblo argentino, salud. Y los libres del mundo responden al gran pueblo argentino, salud. Sean eternos los laureles que supimos conseguir, que supimos conseguir, coronados de gloria, vivamos.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the anthem for Puerto Rico to be sung this evening by Alex de Castro.
La tierra de Borinque.
La tierra de Borinque.
La tierra de Borinque.
La tierra de Borinque, en donde he nacido yo.
Es un jardín florido de mágico primor, un cielo siempre nítido le sirve de dosel y da en arrullo plácido las olas a sus pies. Cuando a su playa llegó Colón, exclamó lleno de admiración: "Oh, esta es la linda tierra que busco yo. Es Borinquen la hija del mar y el sol, 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 del mar y el sol".
And now, ladies and gentlemen, in the ring is a color guard representing all the armed forces of the United States of America. Yesterday was the 70th anniversary of the D-Day invasion, June the 6th, 1944. At this time, we will honor those soldiers that we lost on that day and honor all the men and women now serving in the armed forces of the United States of America with the national anthem to be performed tonight by a former New York City police officer, America's tenor, Daniel Rodriguez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So it's finally time for our main event. Miguel Cotto against Sergio Martinez. For Cotto, after losses to Floyd Mayweather and Austin Trout, many questioned whether his time at the upper echelon of the sport was over. But teaming with trainer Freddie Roach has seemingly rejuvenated the Puerto Rican superstar. As for the middleweight king, since having beaten linear champ Kelly Pavlik in 2010, Martinez has dominated the 160-pound division. But tonight, Sergio Martinez looks for his signature win, facing a man who may be smaller, but who has an equally impressive resume.
Two of boxing's greats in one of the year's most anticipated matchups.
He's getting hammered by Cotto.
Puerto Rican superstar Miguel Cotto versus middleweight champion Sergio Martinez.
Martinez wants to fight his way out.
Siempre quise este combate con Miguel Cotto porque Miguel Cotto es un histórico, es un boxeador que va a quedar en el Hall de la Fama y yo quiero ganarle a los más grandes, quiero enfrentarme a los mejores.
June 7th, going to be the best night in Miguel Cotto's career.
A career that spanned over a decade and has made the former three-division champion one of the must-see fighters in the sport.
Miguel Cotto fighting like a man possessed. What a statement.
Now Cotto is moving up in weight, attempting to become the first Puerto Rican to win belts in 4 different divisions. Since winning the middleweight crown 4 years ago, Martinez has become a dominant force in boxing.
Big left hand by Martinez. A thudding punch.
A slick southpaw with knockout power.
That is the knockout of the year, if nothing else.
The 39-year-old Argentine defends his title for the 7th time. Tonight, 2 future Hall of Famers collide in a career-defining fight.
Voy a ganar el combate y sé que voy a ganar por nocaut. Estoy absolutamente convencido que voy a hacerlo.
The biggest winners on the night going to be the fans.
Miguel Cotto versus Sergio Martinez for the middleweight championship is next.
Nail of the tape for Miguel Cotto against Sergio Martinez. You see the 6-year age advantage for Cotto, who isn't regarded as being a particularly young 33, given the number of wars and rough rounds he's been in. 2-inch height advantage for Martinez. You will see some places where Cotto's listed as 5'7". To us, he measured 5'8". Arm length advantage of 1 inch for Martinez, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. He weighed in at 158 3/4, and in his first trip to the middleweight division, Miguel Cotto went up only to 155 before yesterday's weigh-in. Max Kellerman, it's Miguel Cotto's first trip to the middleweight division. What will he find there?
Well, he's fighting the champion of the division tonight. Gennady Golovkin, considered not the champion, but maybe the best fighter in the division, waiting for his crack at Martinez. He's fighting Daniel Gale here at the Garden in July. Sam Solomon recently beats Felix Sturm for a belt. Peter Quillen, maybe the most interesting belt holder not named Gennady Golovkin. Corabov and Uzcategui, the good Venezuelan fighter, have a matchup coming up on the undercard of Crawford and Yuriorkis Gamboa.
And how did Miguel Cotto earn the right to be here tonight? Well, in his first appearance with Freddie Roach in his corner as trainer, he fought veteran 154-pounder Delvin Rodriguez October 5 last year in Orlando, Florida. And for those who question whether Cotto could come back to being a physical force as a fighter, whether he could refurbish that brilliant left hook, both upstairs and to the body, which made him so special early in his career, he proved on that night in Orlando against that particular opponent that he could do both those things in stunning fashion. And very early in the 3rd round, that fight was stopped off of the punishment that Cotto was delivering to Rodriguez. It was regarded as a brilliant performance, and it was good enough to get Cotto the right to move up 1 division and face the middleweight champion of the world. Now he enters Madison Square Garden for the 9th time in his career. 8 previous fights here. He won the first 7, but on December 1 of 2012, he was beaten in this arena by Austin Trout. Trout, a taller southpaw counterpuncher with some of the same skills Martinez has. And just to drive that point home, the Martinez camp invited Trout to their camp and worked with him, and Martinez sparred some with him in preparation for this fight. Here comes Cotto. Here comes Cotto walking first with no entry music. And by the way, after all of the hubbub in the build-up to the fight about who was going to walk first and who was going to be introduced first, Cotto winds up walking first. We didn't exactly expect that coming in here yesterday. And Martinez will also be introduced second. Those are the honors normally accorded to the champion of the division.
It's not about who walks first, it's about who stands last. There's a very good chance that this fight ends in knockout one way or another, and that's what we're here to find out tonight. Who's going to be the last man standing?
What about the choice of walking with no music, Roy?
Well, for Cotto, he's probably using the energy from the fans to get him excited, to get him hyped up. This is a historic night for him, so he feels like the fan entertainment, the fan energy is enough for him.
Miguel Cotto has made every effort in the build-up to this fight to keep saying, all business, all business. This isn't about all that other stuff. It's just about we're going to fight. Maybe he's underlining that point by walking to the ring with no music. Sergio Martinez's last fight took place in April of last year. It was an irresistible opportunity to return home to Argentina after many years of living in Spain in the United States. And he fought a tough, rough, large, durable British middleweight named Martin Murray. Early in the fight, Martinez was too quick for Murray, but the canvas was wet. The crowd of 50,000 had been standing in the rain all day. In the 8th round, Martinez went down on a right hand from Murray, and at that point, his reign as middleweight king looked to be in trouble. He was down again on the 9th, but it was ruled a slip. But then, seemingly with a chance to win the fight in his hands, in the 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds, Martin Murray backed off. Sergio Martinez got the better of him. And on the strength of those late round wins, Martinez got a unanimous decision and held on to his title. Then he went back to Spain and had his right knee operated on after it had been torn for the second fight in a row. Had his right shoulder operated on. Allowed the broken left hand to heal after it had been broken for the second fight in a row. And after 14 months of rest, recuperation, and preparatory training, he's back. Himself has been on the canvas in each of the last 3 fights and 5 of the last 8, but he did not lose any of those fights.
Well, he's, in addition to his supreme physical gift, speed, obviously the most glaring is his championship medal. He knows when to turn it on. You mentioned Martin Murray backed off in that fight. In addition to Sergio Martinez's very obvious punching power, like against Paul Williams, when Paul Williams was out flat on his face, he has sneaky punching power too. We've seen numerous knockdowns and even knockouts from punches that look like they shouldn't be as hard as they apparently are. Martin Murray told me after that fight, right after the fight, yeah, I was hurt in the 12th round. And he looked hurt, but Jim, I couldn't tell from what.
And here you see Martinez and his trainer, Pablo Sarmiento, not older brother Gabby Sarmiento, but Pablo Sarmiento. They were clearly standing on the apron looking for Argentines in the crowd and urging them to stand up and make some noise. And now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the center of the world for sports and entertainment and the mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, this is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Middleweight Championship of the World. And it's all brought to you by Mr. Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, Miguel Cotto Promotions, DeBella Entertainment, and Samson Boxing. Sponsored by Tegate Con Carácter and PlayStation. PlayStation 4, greatness awaits. Sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairperson Melvina Lathan, Supervisor David Berlin, and the World Boxing Council, WBC President Mauricio Suleiman, Supervisor Chuck Williams. The three judges scoring from ringside, from Italy, Guido Cavalieri, from California, USA, Max DeLuca, and from New York, USA, Tom Schreck. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, referee Michael Griffin. And now, the officials are ready, the fighters are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, argentinos y boricuas, estamos listos for the thousands in attendance here at Madison Square Garden and the millions watching around the world on HBO pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the red corner, with head trainer Freddie Roach, wearing purple, black, and white. Official weight, 155 pounds. His outstanding professional record stands at 38 victories, including 31 knockouts, with 4 defeats. He's the former light welterweight world champion, former two-time welterweight world champion, and former light middleweight champion of the world, de Caguas, Puerto Rico, Miguel Ángel Cotto. And fighting out of the blue corner with his head trainer, Pablo Sarmiento, wearing black with red. His professional record, an outstanding one. 51 victories, including 28 KOs, with only 2 defeats and 2 draws. From Quilmes, Buenos Aires, Argentina, the reigning, defending WBC middleweight champion of the world, Sergio Maravilla Martinez.
Sergio! Sergio! Let's go.
All right, you men receive my instructions. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands. I want you to touch gloves now, men. You're boxing at the bell. God bless you both.
One of these 2 future Hall of Fame fighters is about to score the biggest win of his career.
And the first potential advantage in the fight for Martinez will be one of sheer visual perspective. He spent the last 5 years fighting guys who are between 6 feet and 6 feet 2 inches tall. Miguel Cotto measured out at 5'8". That's a big difference from what Martinez has been doing.
Oh!
Right hand for Cotto.
Quick lead right hand against the southpaw could be a good weapon for Cotto.
Yeah, and when you look back at the records, you got to realize that one thing that also has to give Cotto confidence. He lost to Margarita, then he come back and beat Margarita. But Margarita stopped Sergio Martinez in 7 rounds.
That was way back in Martinez's 14th professional fight. In other words, 40 fights ago.
Guys.
But Sergio remembers it.
Miguel Cotto, in the very early going, looks as sharp as he did against Delvin Rodriguez.
Yes, he does.
And hopefully Cotto won't make the mistake of thinking, not Cotto, Martinez won't make the mistake of thinking that Cotto cannot hurt him because he's smaller.
Well, Cotto has tried to tell everyone what happened last October wasn't that I was fighting an inferior opponent.
Oh!
Rodriguez. You heard
Martinez.
Freddie Roach has made me a great fighter.
Badly hurt, Jim, with a left hook.
Left hook hurt Martinez. Almost went down. Almost went down twice. Fighting back is Martinez after being badly hurt by a Miguel Cotto left hook in the early going. Cotto going to the body. Down goes Martinez. Fourth fight in a row that Martinez has been down. Not limping as he gets up, suggesting that the knee may have made it through the knockdown, but Cotto's off to a blazing start. Can he finish him off in round one? Left hook and land. Again for Cotto. Brilliant left hook.
Cotto is constantly in position to land his punches, and Martinez isn't because of Cotto's feet.
That's what Freddie Roach said would be the difference.
And Martinez seemed like that right knee may be giving him some problems now too. Look how he's dragging that right foot.
What left hook lands again for Cotto. Martinez's leg is gone.
He's out.
Martinez's leg is gone. Second knockdown, and Sergio Martinez does not look as though the knee is functioning at all. Brilliant start for Cotto. Chance for a first-round knockout. Here we go.
Yeah, his knee is gone. His knee is definitely gone. That
third knockdown.
His knee is gone. That right knee is out of here.
5, 6, 7.
His right knee is shot. Trust me.
Martinez wants to keep fighting, but it certainly appears as though his knee is not stable under him.
And he can't get out the way of that left hook that Cotto is throwing. That's Cotto's best punch, and he continues right there.
Lands the left hook again. Just missed with that left hook.
No punches.
3 knockdowns in the first round already for Miguel Cotto. Sensational start for Cotto. And Martinez manages to make it out of the round. But Miguel Cotto is already completely in charge in Madison Square Garden.
Right from the opening bell, Cotto took charge.
Put water on his head. On his head. Sergio, breathe, Sergio. Breathe, Sergio. Sergio, you gotta move to the left. You can't stand there. You gotta move to the left, Sergio. All the time with the jab, Sergio. How you doing? I'm okay. Breathe. Put water on his head. Water. Put water on his head, on the neck.
Here you see Cotto coming in with that big left hook. Great body shot right there. That hurt Martinez. Then that was the hook that sent him on to the canvas. Here's the second knockdown. You see that same lead left hook. His legs are all but gone again, and down he goes. And we know that's probably from that right knee as well.
Power shots in round one. Cotto landed 25 out of 40. A lot of them were devastating left hooks.
And Martinez seems to be bleeding from behind his ear from that left hook.
And I didn't see any problem with Sergio's knee when he got in the ring or to start the fight. It was that left hook knockdown where the knee started to look like it was locking up.
Martinez trying to move to his left, stay away from Cotto's left hook.
Right, no punches. Let him go.
But it doesn't look good for Martinez right now. Cotto completely in command, obviously with a plan he likes, and doing devastating damage to Martinez early. Martinez's blood is on Cotto's left shoulder. Martinez is still completely on the defensive.
Cotto is cutting off the ring, sliding to the outside of Martinez, forcing Sergio on that knee now to take 2 to 3 steps for every one Cotto takes.
Doesn't look like it's going to last very long as we get into the second minute of the second round in Madison Square Garden.
Let's not forget about Martinez's knockout power, either hand.
Puerto Rican crowd elated with what they've gotten in the early going. Martinez starting to move a little bit more fluidly.
Yeah, it seems like he's warming up a little bit, Jim. Oh, good hook by Cotto again. He's getting back into the fight a little bit, but at any point now, he knows that Cotto can end this fight.
And he hasn't been able to get away from Cotto's left hook at any point yet in the fight.
And here's the thing you like about Cotto.
Down goes Martinez, and referee Michael Griffin's going to say that was a trip and not a knockdown. What a break for Sergio.
Yeah, his knee just gave completely out there, Jim. There's no punch thrown. His knee gave completely out.
Well, there was a lot of secrecy about the surgery and the follow-up to the surgery and everything that went on. Easy for Sergio to keep it secret because he was in Spain. Knee was torn both against Chavez and against Murray. Been operated on twice in 2 years. And right now, Cotto is doing some surgery of his own.
Yeah,
he's got him in the corner again.
And the body attack is real devastating.
Right, don't punch it, don't push him, don't push him.
This has been some of the best work of Cotto's career just in the first 2 rounds.
How about Cotto's power carrying it up to middleweight like this?
He's a real puncher, Max.
Martinez landed a straight right hand as Cotto was coming in. His best punch so far. Momentarily stops the surge. Cotto missing with 2 left hooks. And Martinez wrestling with him and managing to stay on his feet.
How you feeling? Good? How you feeling, Sergio? On my head, water on my head, on my nape.
Here you see Sergio trying to come out of his corner. Their knees do collide a little bit, but Sergio's knee gives completely out once they collide. And that's why he failed. He couldn't get that foot up under him. That's the sign of a weak knee.
That was the right knee, which went under him there. That's what referee Michael Griffin ruled a slip. Martinez in the second round, 11-30, Cotto 16-37. Question still remains whether Martinez can even stay in the fight as Cotto keeps hunting for an early knockout. Freddie Roach looking like a prophet so far. He's the one who said Martinez has nothing left, his body is shot, and he's in over his head in this fight.
And the reason I mentioned that in the first round,
huge left hook.
Yes, about Cotto knowing that Margarito has stopped Martinez early in the 7th round shows Cotto that he can in fact hurt Martinez. Because Margarito has never been the puncher that Cotto is.
He's thoroughly dominating Martinez, and Freddie Roach's imprint on Cotto is completely obvious.
Enormous. It isn't just what he's done for Miguel's confidence, it's his footwork, it's his punching technique, it's the selection of punches, it's everything he's doing in there.
All right?
Accidental clash.
Accidental head clash, and you saw Cotto squinting.
Martinez has done some dramatic things in his career,
Don't push him, don't push
and
him.
even on bad legs, you have to be cognizant of his punching power.
Now he's starting to get going. Landed a right hook there. Catches a left hook as Cotto lands again. Martinez starts to back off. He was hurt by that punch.
His punches are not nearly as thunderous as Cotto's punches are.
Because he doesn't have his feet under him the same way.
No, he doesn't.
He's not as solid on his base. Cotto's doing everything he wants in there. Lands another big left hook to Martinez's body. Sergio Martinez taking a lot of punishment in the first 3 rounds, even if he can survive.
See where Cotto's been following fighters around recently. Just then, Martinez tries to escape to his left, and Cotto cuts him off.
Good defense by Martinez right there, though.
Martinez's hand speed is starting to return, but he still doesn't seem totally steady on his feet.
It's just that right knee.
Good right hand by Cotto. Now mixing the right in with the left. Another right hand for Cotto.
That was a good left body shot by Cotto as well.
He's landing some very sharp shots.
Good jab by Martinez.
Martinez lands another solid jab.
Cotto's mouth looks bloody.
Concubac's already counting 58 landed power shots in the fight for Cotto.
Right! Stop. Box.
Round 3 comes to a close, and for the first time in the fight, Martinez made it through a round without being on the canvas.
Sergio, we gotta work the job. Do the job. When he comes up, you grab him. And keep using that jab. Don't stay there. Double it up, Sergio. Not just one shot, double it up. When he has it, double it up with the hands up top. And to the ear. And then he's gonna go.
Now, Ian, you can't follow him.
All right, cut the ring.
You gotta cut the ring, okay? All right.
Here you see Cotto coming in with that beautiful lead left hook. Off of the right to the body this time. He landed it. Perfect shot right on the chin. That shot definitely hurt Martinez again. And that's been his bread and butter for this fight so far.
Looks like Martinez will have to try to fight his way out of this, try to find some kind of rhythm. He's been nearly annihilated in the first 3 rounds. Harold, how do you have it?
Okay, Jim, I got it 30-24. 3 rounds to nothing, Miguel Cotto. You know, Jim, he got a 10-6 round in the first round for the 3 knockdowns. And boy, that's a heck of a lot for Sergio Martinez to overcome. So Miguel Cotto with a huge edge on his scores. 30-24, 3-0, based on those thunderous shots he's been landing for the first 3 rounds.
And Cotto landed another solid right hand while Harold was laying that out.
But it almost feels to me as though Martinez has now adjusted to Cotto's power and is taking those punches a little better as this fight wears on.
Well, like I said, coming into the fight, I don't think Martinez seriously thought that Cotto could hurt him. But I know that Cotto, knowing what happened with him with the Margarita fight, knew that he could hurt Sergio.
The little man hurt the bigger man with surprising power early, and now the bigger man knows maybe this isn't such a little man.
The bigger man is just trying to establish some stability now. Just trying to get into some kind of a rhythm where he can begin to rebuild a little confidence.
That hurt him again.
Get into the fight.
Another
big left hook. Another solid shot by Cotto. Uppercut by Cotto. Martinez says, come on, give me a chance. Give me something to counter. But he's getting hammered.
Boy, Martinez has the heart of a champion.
Of course.
Right hand landed up the middle for Cotto. Martinez has landed individual punches here and there, hasn't yet landed a combination. Gets in a right hook there. And maybe we spoke too soon about the instability of the right knee. Maybe it hasn't really collapsed. And maybe everything that happened in the first round was about Cotto's punching power. Quite possible.
Could have been that too, but it didn't help with the knee being a little unstable.
Martinez is now throwing that same kind of looping shot that knocked out Paul Williams at Miguel Cotto. Not as easy to land against a shorter fighter, that overhand left, as it is against a taller fighter. But it shows you that Martinez is punching with bad intentions still.
Another headbutt, I think. Good body work by Martinez.
2 straight left hands at the end of the round by Sergio Martinez. And there's Melissa Cotto. She and Miguel bring their children to the fight.
Yeah, we're working beautiful. Right hand, very good. Okay. All right. I want to
punches. So flex your waist or go on top of him and hold on. Don't let him work.
He see Cotto catch him with a good hook on the back of the head towards the ear, and once again, that left hook wobbled Martinez.
Power punches in round 4. Martinez 8 of 19, Cotto 18 out of 31, 58%. Martinez has to find a way to defend himself if he's going to have a chance to reel this in and score some kind of late knockout. Almost impossible now to come back and win the fight on the scorecards, with Cotto having built a huge lead in the early going.
And still landing that big left hook at will.
What amazing returns on the Cotto marriage with Freddie Roach.
Stop. Time.
Looking as effective as he has at any time in his career.
Just like in the Delvin Rodriguez fight, Cotto establishes superior ring position, and from that position, all tactics will favor him. He'll be in the position not only to land his punches, but to avoid Sergio Martinez's.
And he just hit Sergio with a really good left body shot. Those pay dividends down the line.
Meantime, Martinez still flashing a snappy jab. Cotto moving Martinez clockwise, the opposite way that a southpaw wants to consistently move. Does so primarily by keeping his left foot outside of Martinez's right foot.
And Martinez having to move to the left so that he's not circling toward Miguel Cotto's left hook.
And it still doesn't matter because he's getting clocked with it either way he goes.
Absolutely.
There you saw that knee give out a little bit again.
Meantime, it makes Cotto's straight right hand available to him too, just like that.
Good right hook, though, by Sergio Martinez. Good body shot by Cotto. Miguel Cotto landed, by CompuBox counts, 36 body shots in the first 4 rounds. That's another element that will make it difficult for Martinez to come back.
Good shots from Cotto upstairs. When Martinez establishes position, he's able to fight Cotto off into the middle of the ring.
Oh, good body shot by Martinez.
For the first time in the fight, Martinez begins to win a skirmish here and there.
Another good body shot. And a good answer by Cotto.
Jake Gyllenhaal seated at ringside. As we mentioned, starring in a fight film of his own.
Sergio, come on. You gotta move that same movement with the body. You gotta work just like we were. So he stands up a little bit, all right? Because he's coming, he's coming. Come on, work him there and answer there, Sergio, okay?
A little bit closer with that and you go with the body. A little bit. I need to have less room to hit it. Yeah, okay. But listen, the combinations is where you get one punch, you hit him. Yeah. Combinations you can't deal with. You walk him into the shot, okay? All right? Both hands. Loose combinations.
So we enter the 6th round of the scheduled 12, and a fight so far completely dominated by Miguel Cotto, except you see that Harold Letterman gave the 5th round to Martinez, which gets him off the schneid.
I think I gave Cotto the last round.
Scoring is secondary for Martinez at this point. He just needs to try to build confidence and give himself some kind of base from which he can pull off a miracle
It was his best round last round, Martinez, whether or not he won it. You heard Freddie Roach say he wants combinations. Both hands.
Hey, don't push him.
But when you've lost the first 4 rounds so clearly, and you were down 3 times in the first round, you're already into the territory where you need a knockout or at least several knockdowns to win the fight. So Martinez has a mountain to climb here. And Cotto catches him again with a left hook. And cuffs him over the top with another left hook as they come away from the ropes. Sergio Martinez has not been able to stop Miguel Cotto's left hook.
That was a good right hook by Sergio Martinez.
And that's why Freddie wants the combinations. Because when he has Sergio moving clockwise, the advantage for Sergio is at least he's moving away from Cotto's left hook. If Cotto will put the right hand into the combinations, then he's moving Sergio into the straight right hand.
Oh, good right hook by Martinez again. Starting to find something with the right hook and left hand body shots.
Yeah, he is. I don't think he really wants to trade with Cotto like this, though, because that's Cotto's best chance of landing that thunderous left hook, which we already seen put Martinez on the floor.
Most impressive to me about Cotto so far tonight is in a round like this, and last round when Martinez starts to box much better, Cotto stays right with him in terms of boxing technique.
And neutralizes things with the jab. But when you said it about the boxing technique, Max, that's one good body shot.
Hard body shot with the right hand by Miguel Cotto.
That hurt bad. That's one of the things that the amateur background builds. Because he has the amateur background, he truthfully is more fluid in the ring than Martinez, yes.
Here's the most unexpected element of what we're seeing so far. When they choose to trade, it is Cotto who has the faster hands. He's getting the better of the face-to-face exchanges. Martinez was the one who was supposed to have faster hands. Miguel Cotto has gotten better. All 4 fighters will appear on the HBO card on July 26th. Gennady Golovkin here to the left side. Then HBO Sports President Ken Hirschman. Then Bryant Jennings. Did I say Baltimore? He's from Philadelphia. Daniel Giel of Australia. And on the other side of Giel, Irish Mike Perez. July 26th, here in Madison Square Garden.
You go with a straight right hand like that. Chill, okay? Right here. A little more head movement, nice and loose. No effort at all, no effort at all. Okay, have fun with it, okay?
When you're in there, don't finish off. Don't stay there. You be first. You be first, Sergio. Okay? Over here, over here. Sergio, you be first, Sergio.
In round 6, the good news for Sergio Martinez, he landed 12 out of 26 power shots. By far his best round in that category. The bad news, Cotto landed 18 out of 35, still getting the better of Martinez in the power shot categories.
Stop. Keep it up, okay? All right?
Cotto's amateur background, a key to his professional success, and I think Freddie Roach has now improved upon that and put him in the position to be able to use all of his tools, Roy, which he hadn't always in the past.
Yeah, let me tell you, the thing about Freddie Roach, go ahead, Jim.
No, you go ahead.
The thing about Freddie Roach is his style of coaching fits Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto is best when he's a very aggressive, attacking guy, and that's Freddie's style of fighting. That's what Freddie's best at.
Harold, how'd you have it scored coming to this round?
Okay, Jim, we've hit the halfway mark. I've got it 5 rounds to 1. 59-52, Miguel Cotto. You know, Jim, there's only 6 rounds to go, and Cotto's got a 7-point lead on my card, which means that mathematically, it's impossible for Sergio to win this fight unless he gets a knockdown. Miguel Cotto winning, 5 out of 6 rounds with that vicious left hook. Sergio just really hasn't landed a tremendous power shot to stop Cotto yet. 5-1, Miguel Cotto.
No punches, step back.
I wouldn't be shocked if all 3 official scorecards had Cotto winning every round so far. Wouldn't shock me at all. And that would make for an even bigger margin for Martinez to have to try to make up. Seems like an impossible task to win the fight on the scorecards. Seems like Martinez's only chance is to rescue himself with a miracle knockout. Quick right hook for Martinez.
And body shots like that by Cotto are the things that are going to keep him alive in this fight.
And probably keep him ahead.
I mean, here we are in the middle of the ring. Martinez now fighting much better than he did earlier, and Cotto's outboxing him.
And he still has the faster hands. He's winning the exchanges when they trade.
Oh, good hook.
Another great left hook by Miguel Cotto.
And he didn't expect that one to land, or it would have set Martinez down again. He just threw that as a check punch.
Well, in recent years, and this happens to older fighters, in recent years, Sergio Martinez's defense has really slipped. In his last 4 fights, those 4 opponents combined to land more than 40% of their power shots. So maybe that's what Freddie Roach was counting on when he said coming in, he's in over his head this time.
Athletic fighters, when that starts to dissipate, don't have the same kind of classical skill to fall back on.
And Martinez won that exchange at the end of the round.
But he lost that round.
Michael J. Fox enjoying the action at ringside.
Yeah. You're giving him a love boxing lesson. Keep doing it, okay? All right. The combinations are working beautiful.
Sergio, how you doing? How are you?
Here you see when the older guy is having problems, when everything seems to hurt him or buck his legs. That was a very small punch, knocked him off balance still, had a bad reaction to it, and that's when you know it may be time for a guy to start considering bailing out of this game.
You may have seen the CompuBox graphic between rounds that showed that Cotto has landed 158 punches to Martinez's 79, meaning that Cotto, in effect, has exactly doubled Sergio Martinez in landed punches to this point in the fight by CompuBox count. And yes, Harold Letterman agreed with you, Roy, that Cotto won the last round, further stretching his lead on the scorecard.
Yeah, I think this fight's a shutout.
You know, it's a bad night for you when Miguel Cotto is hitting you with straight right-hand leads. That is a bad night because that's typically not his best punch. And when he's hitting you with that, with authority, you know he's clicking on all cylinders.
Well, and our Spanish interpreter, Jerry Olaya, now tells us that between those last rounds, Sergio Martinez asked in his corner for ice on his right knee. It's too late for ice on the knee at this point.
Yeah, it is.
Freddie Roach said, I don't want to hear any excuses. So he'll be derisive if Martinez has anything to say about the knee after the fight. And you have to give all credit to Cotto for what he's done. The fight plan, the execution of the fight plan, the delivery of the punches, the speed, the technique, the footwork, everything has been brilliant.
And the body work. That's the most impressive thing to me.
And the discipline to maintain his style and that boxing style that he's using. To not let the success early get him carried away.
Another straight right hand landed for Cotto. And now, I am told by our trucks that we misinterpreted the interpreter, and what Sergio asked for was not ice on the knee, but ice on the neck. That's a different story.
And he's really taking a thrashing right now. After the headbutt, he took a left hook again. It was a headbutt first, but it also was a thundering left hook at the end of it.
Cotto has been dynamic with the left hook all night long. Especially, of course, in the first round, when the left hook led to 3 knockdowns of Sergio Martinez. Another left hook lands for Cotto.
Well, you know, Freddie and Cotto have definitely did their homework on Sergio Martinez. Freddie had a chance to look at him. He's never really had a true chance to look at Cotto, and right now Freddie is winning the battle.
That was the first punch that Martinez landed and then slipped.
And you saw he couldn't even keep his balance with his right knee right then, trying to throw combinations.
But the right hand that Martinez landed was such a heavy jab, it looked like, that it seemed to rock Cotto back on his heels.
Great right hand lands for Cotto again. That punch also has been brilliant. And another hard round for Sergio Martinez. 39 years old, and maybe at the end of his brilliant run.
Sergio, breathe. Sergio, you okay? Are you okay, Sergio? Yes. Water on the nape. Breathe, Sergio.
Now, that right hand in the chest is going to work. All right, let's lay it. Set him up. Put the jab, hook, right hand together, okay? 3. Jab, hook, right hand.
Here you see the heads come together as they get together with the jabs. And right after the heads come together, Cotto lands a beautiful left hook. Then Sergio starts to complain about the headbutt, which he was right, but he still landed a good left hook at the end of that exchange.
Jabs through the 8th round. Martinez 36 out of 158. Cotto landing 44 out of 85, 52% of his jabs. Commonly, conventional fighters have difficulty landing the jab against a southpaw. Cotto is dominating with it.
Commonly, the taller fighter is the best jabber. Unless the short guy name is the white Muhammad Qawi or Miguel Cotto, obviously.
Looking at the way Martinez looked between rounds, I'm not certain I would continue to send him out there.
I don't care what the condition of his knee is or how old Sergio Martinez is. He is the middleweight champion of the world, and this is, so far, Cotto's best performance in his career. He started at junior welterweight, and his first shot at middleweight is beating the hell out of the middleweight champion of the world.
What an uppercut. What an uppercut by Cotto.
That hurt bad.
Again, I repeat, I'm not sure I would keep sending Martinez out there. He's getting annihilated by Cotto.
He is getting beat up pretty bad.
Another right hand for Cotto. Everything is landing for Miguel.
I told you he's clicking on all cylinders tonight.
I don't think anyone would blame Martinez if he retires on his stool tonight. Too much punishment.
Martinez is not the type to retire on his stool. He's going to need someone in his corner to do it for him if it gets to that.
Good body shot by Cotto.
How good would Miguel Cotto have been if he had Freddie Roach or somebody like him his entire career? He spent long years fighting under the tutelage of his uncle and then a friend from Puerto Rico. Neither of them were top-notch trainers. Couple of fights with Emmanuel Stewart. They couldn't really get on the same page. But now with Freddie Roach, he finds the perfect combination.
Exactly. Emmanuel was a guy who was more of a right-hand puncher. He did better with the Mark Brelands and the Tommy Hearns of the world. He did know boxing very well, too, but he was more of a beauty boxer.
That's a knockdown.
Yeah, it sure is.
That is a knockdown. That's the 4th knockdown of the fight.
Martinez is falling apart. His knee, his eye now.
He looks terrible.
Emmanuel mastered my kind of boxing. Wow. And he's still hurt.
His heart is still working fine.
Sergio,
maybe too well.
Sergio, your knees are not working, Sergio. Your knees are not working right, Sergio. Yes. You can't, your knees are not working, Sergio. But it's the same. Champion, it's my responsibility, champion. Champion, it's my responsibility. Your knees are not responding, champion. No, one more. Champion, your knees. Champion, knock him out. Your knees are not working.
There's a jab, beautiful knockdown. He may have not hit the canvas, his knee may have not hit the canvas, but it really could have been called a knockdown. I can understand why the ref didn't if his knee didn't touch, but that's definitely a knockdown.
And it was ruled a knockdown, and that's where the count begins. Power shots in the 9th round. Martinez landed 7 out of 20. Cotto 22 out of 40. This is a mismatch. It's a wipeout, and Martinez is going to retire.
And that was the right thing to do there.
100%.
Wow.
The biggest night of Miguel Cotto's career.
Most definitely.
He wins the legitimate middleweight championship of the world.
This one goes next to Shane Mosley.
Yes, it does.
This is the second time Miguel Cotto's fought a top-flight fighter and won. A future Hall of Famer.
Mosley was closer to his peak, but Cotto didn't annihilate him the way he totally wiped out Sergio Martinez tonight.
Miguel Cotto is now the middleweight champion of the world, the way Roy Jones and Marvin Hagler and Carlos Monzon and Sugar Ray Robinson were once the middleweight champions of the world. He's the guy. The man who beat the man who beat the man.
And with heir apparent Gennady Golovkin seated at ringside, Miguel Cotto establishes that there's a new sheriff in the middleweight division. Let's go back and look at what happened between rounds in Sergio Martinez's corner, and our interpreter, Jerry Olaya, will take you through what he hears in the conversation.
Champion, it's my responsibility, champion. Champion, your knees are not responding, champion. One more, please, one more. Champion, your knees are not responding. Sergio, look at me. Look at me, Sergio. Sergio, your knees, Sergio. One more, please, give me one more. Sergio, I'm gonna stop this one. Sergio, you are the best for me. You are the best. You'll always be our best champion, Sergio. I'm gonna stop this one. I'm gonna stop it, Sergio. No, I'm gonna stop it, Sergio. Not you. I'm gonna stop it. You're much more valuable than that, Sergio. No.
Victory at the end of 9 rounds. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Madison Square Garden, New York, USA, this fight comes to an end. The official time from the timekeeper ringside is 6 seconds into round number 10. Martinez unable to continue. The winner by TKO victory. And now, the new WBC middleweight champion of the world, Caguas, Puerto Rico, Miguel Ángel Cotto.
Final CompuBox numbers on this brilliant performance by Miguel Cotto. And perhaps the end of Sergio Martinez's brilliant career. And you're going to see the landslide statistics in Cotto's favor. He lands 112 more punches. He throws 73 more. He lands 54% of his punches overall. Devastating numbers. He lands 98 more power punches. He throws 136 more. He lands 54% of his power shots. A lot of them blistering left hooks and powerful straight right hands. Punch Zone will show you where all the punches landed. And Martinez was throwing but without a lot of power and without any particular effect. And you can see that 142 punches landed to the head, and 70 of them landed to the body, and those body shots were enormously instrumental all the way through the fight. Every one of the three scorecards had an identical number, 90 to 77 in favor of Cotto. And now let's go up to Max Kellerman with the winner.
Congratulations, Miguel. What does this win mean to you?
The biggest achievement I ever had in my career.
And to do this in front of 18,000 fans at Madison Square Garden, what does that mean?
You know, being here, Miguel Cotto became Miguel Cotto here, and Miguel Cotto still being Miguel Cotto here at Madison Square Garden.
We were saying ringside that this is the best we've ever seen you look. How do you feel about this performance?
I felt very good. I told you in our meeting that we had the most beautiful and the most outrageous camp ever in my career. I have to thank Freddie, Gavin, and all of my group to take me to this point.
You came right out and immediately hurt him and outboxed him. You were quicker, you were first. What was the strategy going in? Did you plan to jump on him?
No, that was just a moment. I hit him with a hard punch, and I just go for him.
After he rose from the first knockdown, it appeared that he was having a problem with the knee. Did you recognize that?
No, I just maintained myself in the fight and kept fighting.
Miguel, at this moment, you are now the lineal middleweight champion of the world. And look like at least a match for anyone middleweight or below. What do you want to do next?
I want to rest. I want to enjoy my family for a couple of weeks and then sit and talk to Freddie. Whatever Freddie wants me to do, I'm allowed to do it.
Congratulations on a performance none of us will ever forget, Miguel.
Thank you.
Sergio, what happened at the beginning of that fight?
No, me llevé una mano en frío y no me pude recuperar. Quiero pedirle perdón a todos los argentinos que vinieron, a todos los que me alentaron. Les quiero pedir perdón porque subí a dejarme todo, pero no me pude quedar con el triunfo. Les pido perdón a todos y gracias por alentar a todos, a los puertorriqueños y a los argentinos también.
You know, I got hit with a hand and I was cold, and I never recouped after that. But I tried to do my best, and I want to thank everyone that came out. I want to ask forgiveness for all the Argentines, and I want to thank all the Puerto Ricans and the Argentines and everyone that came out.
I can hear you not wanting to make any excuses. And you fought with the championship heart we're used to seeing with you. It didn't look like your knee was bothering you to start the fight, but when you rose from the first knockdown, it looked that way, and in the corner, you were talking about it. Tell me about the state of your knee after the first knockdown.
No, hay que saber ganar, hay que saber perder. Y hoy me tocó perder y no tengo más palabras que eso de felicitaciones para Miguel Cotto.
You gotta know how to win, and you gotta know when to lose. And I've got nothing else to say, and my congratulations to Miguel Cotto.
The decision in the corner to stop the fight, it appeared you were taking punishment and had a hard time moving. Can you take us through that moment for you in the corner?
Mi entrenador ve mejor las cosas que yo desde afuera y él si tomó la decisión, la respeto y bueno, pues la respeto perfectamente porque él sabe de afuera, sabe mucho más que yo.
My trainer sees things from the outside, and he sees them much clearer than I do. And obviously, I respect his decision because he sees things much better than I do on the inside.
Finally, and a lot of respect for you not making any excuses, did his punching power surprise you coming up to middleweight? you having fought so many big, strong middleweights in your career and seemed more badly hurt in this fight than we've ever seen you?
No, me tomó frío, me tomó muy bien, pleno al principio, y de eso muy difícil recuperarse.
You know, he just caught me cold. He caught me cold. He caught me hard at the beginning, and it was very difficult to recuperate from that.
Pablo, quickly, what was that like for you to have to tell a champion like Sergio Martinez that you were stopping this fight?
Más que mi boxeador es mi amigo, es mi hermano, y yo sabía que las rodillas, 3 asaltos atrás ya no estaban respondiendo y yo no podía dejar que recibiera castigo.
More than a boxer, he's my brother, he's my friend, and I knew that his knees were not there. They weren't strong. From 3 rounds before, they just weren't responding.
Thank you, guys. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Max Kellerman. Now let's go back and look at what happened in the fight. And you heard what Sergio said. He got caught cold in the first round. We're going to take a look back in a moment at what happened in round 1, what led to the 3 knockdowns. But right now, it appears that our tape machine locked. So Roy Jones, Sergio Martinez scrupulously avoids making any excuses. His trainer, Pablo Sarmiento, hints that it was partially about the knee. Here's what happened in round 1, and that first left hook seemed to hurt Martinez.
Yeah, it did hurt him real bad. I don't know how his knee responded after that, but that first left hook hurt him. As you saw right there, Cotto also mounted an early body attack. That was to make sure that he doesn't ever recuperate from the hurt in round 1.
All 3 of these knockdowns taking place in the first round, and creating a landscape where it was going to be difficult for Sergio to come back. In the third round, Cotto continuing to land the left hand. Go ahead.
All those knockdowns were caused by that big left hook as well.
And then in the 9th round, the 4th knockdown of the fight. And at this point, it was abundantly clear it was a hopeless cause for Sergio Martinez, and Pablo Sarmiento making clear that he wasn't going to allow his fighter to come out for the 10th round. Only the 3rd loss of Sergio Martinez's career in 56 fights. I want to be clear about this. I've been Sergio Martinez's biggest and most vocal supporter. I thought he was a logical favorite in the fight. I think it's possible that damage to the knee was indeed a factor in what happened tonight. But I'm not sure under any circumstances that he could have dealt with the brilliance of what Miguel Cotto brought to the ring tonight. My urge is probably to say no.
No, I don't think he was prepared to deal with what came to the ring tonight. And this is the thing that I see the most. When I won the heavyweight title, I knew right away that John Ruiz had underestimated my punching power. He had no inclination that I could hurt him just as bad, if not worse, than he could hurt me. Tonight we saw Martinez come in the ring, not really expecting that Cotto could bomb him the way that he could bomb Cotto. But Cotto, doing his homework, realized that if Margarita stopped you in 7 rounds, it's very possible, and I don't care if it was 100 years ago, it's very possible that if a lighter punching Margarita stopped you, that Cotto could do the same.
How good would Miguel Cotto have been if he had a trainer like Freddie Roach's entire career?
Woo, the sky's the limit, but I also want to say his style of boxing, he fights such a smooth, slow pace, that it worked better for him in this middleweight situation.
All right, thank you very much. Roy Jones welcoming in Max Kellerman. Now, Max, you had some thoughts before the fight, which we did not get to deliver the audience, about what a Miguel Cotto win would mean tonight. Lay it out there.
I am so glad you brought that up, Jim, because the odds on this fight were like 2.5 to 1. But with the exception of something happening to the knee, and maybe that did affect the fight, it was more like 10 to 1. It was the kind of fight that everyone who follows boxing was expecting Sergio Martinez to light Miguel Cotto up. Too fast, too much. Martinez had beaten throughout his career not only a larger caliber, larger fighters, but a higher caliber of fighter than Cotto, whose only a pelt on his wall was Shane Mosley. What Cotto did here tonight is the kind of performance that reminds you why you love sports. The unexpected can happen. After you've seen a scenario play out 1,000,000 times like this, and a big name is pumped up in a big pay-per-view event, but really he's the smaller or slower or the fighter who's just not as good, and the other fighter makes a big payday off his name. That's happened 1,000,000 times. Once in a while, that fighter whose name is there to be had shows up and does something like this. And also once in a while, you see a clear cause and effect between a trainer and his influence and a fighter. And this was clearly a Freddie Roach influence. What we saw with Miguel Cotto was not a mirage against Delvin Rodriguez. That's who he is now. He just did that to Sergio Martinez. Who wouldn't he do that to? Who at 160 pounds or below are you so sure that Cotto would be the underdog against now?
So give me one more piece of perspective. Freddie Roach is already the most prominent current trainer in boxing. A 6-time Boxing Writers Trainer of the Year. He built Manny Pacquiao. He broke a star like Ruslan Provodnikov. Now, with what he's done with Miguel Cotto, is Roach beginning to make a significant impact, a significant mark on the history of boxing?
Absolutely he is. You win a half-dozen Trainer of the Year awards, and people start to think about Floyd Mayweather and the kind of fight that Miguel Cotto gave him then when he was half the fighter he is today. This Miguel Cotto, obviously an emotional one, is live against anyone in any weight class in which he competes right now.
A tremendous victory for Freddie Roach, an even more tremendous victory for Miguel Cotto, his 8th win in Madison Square Garden in his brilliant and unforgettable career. And just to put one final mark of historical perspective on this, Cotto already ranks among the greatest of the fighters who've ever come off of the island of Puerto Rico. No Puerto Rican fighter has ever won the legitimate middleweight championship of the world. No Puerto Rican fighter before tonight had ever won 4 world championships in 4 different weight classes. Miguel Cotto has done all of that. What a night. Let's look ahead to some upcoming boxing here on HBO.